Okay, so the fascia there is not the only place that needs trim. Obviously, we need some trim up here. If I had been better at this and known better, I could have done these edges better. I could have either calculated to where I only went wide enough with the shed to where these four foot wide pieces would have came out and went over the edge here, or I could have made this edge match up better, but I didn't. I'm gonna have to work on that with the trim, and you'll see over here what I've been doing with the trim. I will be doing on that other side. Get you up here on the ladder so you can get a closer look. All right. Number one, I put my tape measure down there on the edge of the decking. Not the edge of anything else, but the edge of the decking, which I had cut at 84 inches. This one turned out to be, when I get up here, in order to land right here, 83 3/4. So I did a 20-degree angle down there, as you can see with my chop saw down there. I've got it set on a 20-degree angle. And this one back here, I measured from the end of that decking, came up here, and what I want you to see is where I've cut this board wasn't perfectly up to the top of this, so we've got a little bit of a gap there. This doesn't come perfectly to the edge of the 2x4. This is the worst seam that I have right here. But this is all going to be covered up with the metal roofing. The metal's going to come out, over, all the way to the edge of this, and then it's got a big cap that goes over that too. So none of this will be load bearing, none of this will be seen. All this will be covered up, but I still would have preferred if I'd have done a better job on my calculations and stuff, so that this came right up to the edge of this and overlapped all this. If not, maybe I could have cut this better and make it come up to the top edge of this and not have so much gap under here that nobody's going to know about but me and you. But I'll know about it, and I don't like it. See how I got closer to the top edge here and almost filled up that gap when I was cutting this? Still, I would have preferred if I'd have had this all the way out. But there's another little problem there. You can see just a tiny bit out of square right there compared to over there, which that turned out a lot better down there. But if I don't show you the worst, then you don't know how I'm working around the worst mistakes that I made. And I want you to know before you start doing this stuff. And I also want you to be more careful than me. I'm burnt, bruised, and bleeding all the time, so take more safety precautions than I do, because I don't want y'all burnt, bruised, and bleeding like me. Oh, and 20 degrees is the right degree for a 412 pitch, but I still ended up with this tiny bit of a gap right here, so I'm gonna have to close up with some caulking, and then I'll come up here and do touch-up paint. Also wanted you to know that I'm just using my ball stitch air nailer like I did with everything else, and it's leaving these big divots here. It would have been a lot better if I hadn't been too lazy to go back to the shop and get one of my brad nailers. If I'd have done that, then I could have put brads in here, and they would have left much smaller divots. At least I did pre-paint these so that I didn't have to get up there and paint them on a ladder, and I don't have these drips or anything, or didn't have to tape off stuff for my edges and everything. I got really nice clean edges. Oh, and another mistake before I go, I wished I had done this trim first and then my fascia board, because I would have done that longer to come over there and touch it. But again, all that's going to get covered in metal. That one's going to be the same problem, because I put it on first, not thinking about when I put that on that's going to be thicker, and then I put the other piece of wood on that's going to be even thicker. When I was painting them, that day it started to rain, so I had to move them in here and put them in here. And there's going to be a lot more of those for the next video when I'm doing more trim and stuff, and I'll show you that when I do it. And of course I'll probably make some mistakes and stuff, and I can show you those too, how I made them, how you might be able to avoid them, or how to correct for them once they're made, or at least how I do it. I'm definitely not a professional at this. I'm just DIYing this stuff, And I've also got doors to build, so I'll be making a video on that, how that worked out. These are metal trim for the metal roof, and there's my sheets of metal roofing, which are about 3 feet wide instead of 4 feet wide, so that makes it come out an uneven number. Since I'm gonna have to do some cutting with the nibbler and all that, yeah, you'll want to watch that. So I'm trying to build a 12 by 16 shed better than the Tough shed at Home Depot, and that costs over $6,000. And if I'm making it better, that means additional cost and additional time. And I'm trying to do it at a budget under $2,800. So if you want to see the whole playlist of from the ground to the roof completely done, click on this link in the corner. If you want to see the next video in the series, what I'm doing next after this, just click on the other link.